When most people hit failure, they stop, they turn back, they treat it like a final judgment, a dead end. But failure is not the end. It's just a report. It's data. It tells you what doesn't work, what needs adjustment, what requires reinforcement. It's not a wall. It's a window into what your next version needs to look like. Every great innovator understands this. Elon Musk didn't give up after rocket failures. He didn't interpret them as defeat. He saw them as feedback loops. The explosions weren't disasters. They were teachers. They revealed what had to be fixed. Your failure carries information no success can ever teach you. Success can inflate your ego, but failure sharpens your mind. It forces precision. It demands honesty. So the next time something breaks, don't cry over the crash. Study it, break it apart, understand why. The data is right there, waiting to be harvested. And once you learn to mine failure for insights, you'll realize failure doesn't push you away from your goal. It pulls you closer. Failure stings. It hits your ego. It feels like the world's saying you're not enough. But that's not true. Failure doesn't mean you are broken. It means the system needs work. People personalize failure because they've been trained to believe outcomes define identity. But in reality, failure is just a feedback loop in progress. It doesn't say you're incapable. It says something in your method, timing, or approach needs a shift. The problem is we tie our self-worth to results. So when something fails, we feel worthless. That emotional reaction kills more dreams than the failure itself ever could. But the elite, the people who actually build, ship, launch, lead, they don't attach emotion to failure. They treat it like a system check, like a scientist in a lab coat reviewing notes after a failed experiment. Calm, focused, data-driven, detach your identity from your outcomes. You are not your failure. You are the architect learning from it. That mindset will give you freedom no success can ever buy. When your first attempt fails, people will laugh. They'll doubt you. They'll say, see, we told you. That's how the world reacts to pioneers, with mockery, not understanding. But they laughed at SpaceX too. When rockets exploded, headlines mocked. When timelines slipped, critics smirked. But when success came, the same voices turned into applause. The world does not believe until it sees results, and those results come after a graveyard of failure. This is the price of trailblazing. You have to walk through public doubt while privately rebuilding. Most people fold under that pressure, but the ones who don't, they create legacies. Understand this truth. Early failure is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign you're in the arena. You're testing reality while others are just watching. And every public failure you survive builds private power. Let them laugh now. They won't be laughing later. Failure is a test of will. Now, it doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. The moment things break down, people fall into two groups, the ones who quit and the ones who sharpen their tools. Most people never build anything remarkable because they walk away the second the path gets messy. They confuse discomfort with danger, but discomfort is where all transformation happens. Failure strips away the tourists and leaves only the committed. It's the gate through which only builders pass, and that's what makes it valuable. It filters out the noise. So if you failed, congratulations. You've been initiated. Now build again, sharper, smarter, stronger. There's a kind of power that only comes from failing in front of people and not letting it break you. When you can crash, get laughed at, criticized, and still come back, you become bulletproof. Most people hide their failures. They want to appear perfect, polished. But perfection is a lie. It keeps you small. Vulnerability is where real power lives. Elon Musk launched rockets knowing they might explode because hiding wasn't an option. You either ship the thing or you don't. There's no legacy in secrecy. So fail loud, fail boldly, let people watch, then let them see you rise. Think of every failed attempt as steel against the grindstone. It sharpens you. It carves precision into your craft. No one becomes elite without repetition, missteps, corrections, and refinement. Each mistake exposes something you couldn't see before, a weak joint, a poor assumption, an overestimated shortcut. But now you see clearly, you evolve. Greatness is not made in perfection. It's shaped in persistence. Every failure makes you more dangerous, more focused, more exact. Keep sharpening. You're becoming a weapon. Failure isn't vague. It speaks if you know how to listen. It tells you what didn't work, where the weakness was, what was missing. Most people only hear the sting. But if you remove emotion, you'll see feedback. You'll see data. Elite thinkers treat failure like a diagnostic tool. They don't cry about the problem. They investigate it. They build systems from the failure itself. That's how rockets fly. That's how revolutions begin. Not with perfection, but with obsession over every failed step. Success that hasn't been stress tested will shatter the first time pressure hits. But when success is built on failure after failure, it becomes unbreakable. People who only win early often collapse under real pressure because they were never forged by failure. But those which have failed, bled, rebuilt, and kept showing up, they've built resilience in their bones. Your failures are armor. Your scars are strategy. That's how you last when others fade. Every failure you face gives you a new tool. Clarity. It shows you exactly what needs to be adjusted, or nothing more, nothing less. You're not back to zero after failure. You're one version ahead. You now have more intel than before. You're not stuck. You're updated. Treat your setbacks like software updates. Every crash patches a bug. Every breakdown improves the code, and eventually the system becomes uncrashable. Failure humbles you. It rips away your illusion of control. It burns the fantasy and shows you the raw, unfiltered version of reality. And that's a gift. Because when the ego dies, the real work begins. You stop building to impress and start building to improve. You stop needing validation and start obsessing over results. Failure kills the fake builder inside you. What remains is someone unstoppable. Resilience isn't genetic, it's earned. And the gym that builds it is called failure. Every time you fall and rise again, your mental muscles grow. You don't get weaker, you get forged, you don't get bitter, you get bulletproof. Each failure is a rep, a set, a heavier weight, and if you keep showing up, you won't just survive, you'll dominate. What scares you more, failing publicly or living a life that never mattered? The real danger isn't falling, it's staying down, it's shrinking your dream to fit someone else's comfort, it's playing safe and wondering 20 years later what could have been. If failure is the cost of greatness, pay it. The regret of not trying will always cost more. Don't judge your dream by its first execution. Your first launch will be clumsy. Your first version will suck. That's not a flaw. That's the process. No one builds a masterpiece in the first try. But most people quit because their beginning isn't perfect. You have to give your vision the grace to evolve. Let it be ugly before it becomes unstoppable. Success feels good, but it hides your flaws. It masks the weaknesses that will later collapse your system. But failure, it exposes everything. Failure is the most honest teacher. It doesn't flatter, it doesn't sugarcoat, it gives you the truth. If you're willing to face it, it will give you an advantage most people never earn. Failure isn't fatal unless you ignore it. If you refuse to study your mistakes, you're destined to make them again. But if you sit with your failure, dissect it, and apply the lesson, you evolve. Pain without reflection is wasted, but pain with purpose, that's power. SpaceX didn't nail it on the first try. Rockets exploded, money burned, media laughed, but Musk didn't quit. He iterated. Every crash taught something new, and each failure became fuel for the future. Your dream is a rocket, and rockets need crashes to become ready. If you're doing something new, bold, risky, you will fail because failure is baked into innovation. The only way to never fail is to repeat what's already been done. But that means you'll never lead, you'll never change anything, you'll only copy. Failure is the tuition you pay for progress. Anyone can win when everything's going right, but only legends rise after collapse. It's not the launch that builds your name, it's the comeback, it's the rebuild, it's the moment you rise with blood on your face and say, I'm not done. That's what people remember, that's what creates legacy. You can fail 100 times and still win as long as you keep building. But the moment you go silent, the dream begins to die. Not because it wasn't possible, but because you stopped moving. Failure is noise, let it be loud, just never let it turn into stillness. Mastery isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about becoming someone who uses them better than anyone else. The masters aren't perfect. They're just practiced. They've failed more than the beginners have tried, and that's why they can't be stopped. Your failures are not dead ends. They're bricks. Build your empire with them.